Hi everybody, this is Susan Ricklin, and today I'm going to talk to you guys about how to enter a new client into the Timesheet program. So when you log into the Timesheet, you guys are going to go and look across that top banner that you have right here when you log in, and you're going to click on Clients. Once you click on clients, or once the timesheet program stops spinning, you're going to click on new to create a new client. And the reason I have this piece of paper up, just so you know, is because I do put this out on YouTube, and I don't want our clients' names to show up out there. So that's just a little side note of information. So once I click on new, I'm going to pull the piece of paper off, and you'll be able to see how we'll go through the steps on entering that client's information. So again, to create that new client, we're going to click on new, and then I'm going to pull this away. And you will see where it says name or initials, client ID, active, and then you'll see attributes. Right here is where you're actually going to type in that person's name. So I'm going to click my name because I already have it set up for me to do this. Then the next thing I would do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to enter the client ID number. Now, the client ID number is going to come from our program that we have that's Osnium. So in order for you to create this person in the timesheet program, they must already have an identity in Osnium. So that is where you're going to collect that client ID number. The number should always be 6 digits until we start getting a little bit bigger with going on to the next set of numbers. But as of right now, it will always be 6 digits. So I'm just going to go ahead and make up a number, but you will always make sure you get the number from Osnium. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, what you want to do next is make sure that the button next to active is clicked so that that person will show up as active in the client list. And then you're going to go down to what's called the attributes. The attributes is actually where you're going to go to pick their personal information, be it where they're living or they're receiving services, and then of course what their victimization is. So let's just say for me, let's say that I'm a resident and that I have domestic violence, and then let's say that I'm fleeing. Now, for the fleeing attribute, I see a lot of times that this is not clicked on our clients. Fleeing is something that we have in all of our grants for our clients. So our clients are always fleeing, attempting to flee, or have fled. Now, in the event that we have a client come in who is actually who is a person who is chronically homeless, who is not domestic violence or sexual assault, but let's say that they are human trafficking, you would not necessarily have to put fleeing on that person, but if they are fleeing, let's say from their John, you would go ahead and click on fleeing for that person. Now, as we scroll down the list, you will see that there's also from within Fort Bend County. If you click on from within Fort Bend County, you have to make sure that that person was verified by the Fort Bend County Tax Assessor's Office, that that person was paying taxes in the county, and that they're actually fleeing from Fort Bend County. The same thing goes for Houston. They must have been living in Houston and paying taxes where they were living in Houston, and it has to be verified by the Houston tax assessor, which is also known as the HCAD. You also want to know that we also have in here receiving neurofeedback. So if you are working with a client who is receiving counseling services and neurofeedback, you want to make sure that you mark neuro, or even if they're in the shelter and they're receiving neurofeedback, that attribute is marked. And then I also noticed sometimes with some of our clients, the children are not being marked as resident child or non-resident child. So as you see, we have the regular resident and we have resident child. It's important to make sure that you indicate whether it is the child who is the resident that you're entering for, or the regular resident, which would be the adult. And the last one is COC-SPC. COC-SPC indicates that the person is actually on our Shelter Plus Care program and that they are residing over at Rio Bend. In some cases, there might be somebody who doesn't actually reside at Rio Bend who is on Shelter Plus Care, but usually they are, residing over there at Rio Bend. And if you have any questions about that, you want to make sure you talk to Mary, and should be able to let you know where that client is residing, or if they're on that program. So once you enter that information, you're going to click on Create a Client, and then that client will actually be created in the system.